And racing in the Ballywalter Bloodstock 4-year-old Geldings men as they head away on their way towards their first of 15 fences and all, they'll be jumping. There's a line of 3 prominent early on. Devil Rolls the Dice is down the inside. Towards the outside races Fact-Fakes Colombo. Between them goes the aforementioned Sage Green. They in turn are being followed back in third by fourth rather by Hill of the Fairies, with next up the field races Moves Like Mason. Highland Paddy Always Wanted come next, and they in turn are being tracked as they go on their way towards fence number 1 by Jude in the Park, with the overback marker early on a Mighty King, as they all clear the first and make their way around the bend. That's going to take them on into the back straight, and up front with the advantage it is Sage Green, who's got the lead by 3 or 4 lengths now to the second running Case Colombo. Third position then for the Graver on the outside, which is Hill of the Fairies, who in turn has been chased on the inside by Devil's Roll the Dice. Just behind these then races Moves Like Mason as they go to the rise at the second, which is slightly out of my view, and make their way on to go through the gap on their way towards number 3. And up front it is Sage Green with the advantage, being chased in second by Fact-Fakes Colombo. Third position then in behind these to find Devil Rose the Dice, who in turn has been tracked out over that next fence by Hill of Fairies. Behind these then races Move Like Mason with Highland Paddy. Just in behind Highland Paddy then, as they continue on their way down the back straight, goes Always Wanted, who in turn is then has been followed by the back 2, which are a Mighty King and Jude in the Park. Leaving the back strip behind them, beginning the uphill climb that's going to take them back towards home on their way towards fences 4 and 5. And as they do so, it is Sage Green with the advantage, being chased in second by Fact-Face Colombo. Third position for Devil Rose the Dice, who in turn has been followed next in the field as they straighten on up by Hill of Fairies. Within behind these then comes Highland Paddy, Always Wanted, and Moves Like Mason. June the Park is last with 1, and last of all is a Mighty King. Racing on their way now towards the fence that'll be last in a couple of circuits' time, and out in front with the advantage it is Sage Green, who's got the lead under Barry Stone, being chased in second by Fact-Face Colombo and Brian Lawless. Third then for Devil's Rose the Dice and Barry O'Neill. Hill of the Fairies and Jack Hendrick is next, keeping company with Moves Like Mason and Jack Hendrick, rather. Hill of the Fairies the amount of Josh Burry. They in turn have been followed by Highland Paddy and Dara Higgins. Always Wanted and Shane Butler comes next. Yellow Jacket down the inside in front of June in the Park and Sean O'Rourke. And last of all is a Mighty King and Lee Shanahan. Making their way into the bend that's going to take them around into the back straight, where they'll meet fences 7 and 8 on this part of the course. And as they do so, with the advantage, it is Sage Green, who was 5th at Ballindenniscone debut, being chased in second by Fact-Face Colombo. Third in behind these then for Devil Rose the Dice, with Moves Like Mason and Hill of Fairies. Back in behind these then races Highland Paddy, who in turn has been tracked out over this next fence by Jude in the Park, a Mighty King and Always Wanted. Making their way on towards fence number 8, middle one down along the back straight, marks approximately their halfway point in the Ballywalter Bloodstock sponsored 4-year-old Geldings Maiden, and Sage Green has been in front since virtually flagfall, has the advantage over the second running Fact-Face Colombo. They in turn are being followed then back in third by Devil's Rose the Dice, who's down the inside. Then that one's outside then races Hill of Fairies, with just in behind these races Moves Like Mason, Highland Paddy, Jude in the Park. Always Wanted is just briefly ridden along for a few strides rounding the bend in company with a Mighty King. Rounding the bend and beginning to make the climb that's going to take them back towards the home straight on their way towards fences 9 and 10, second of which will be their last in a circuit's time. And as they do so, Sage Green with the advantage, chased in second by Fact-Face Colombo. Devil Rose the Dice is third, and they in turn have been followed by Hill of Fairies, Moves Like Mason, Always Wanted, Jude in the Park, Highland Paddy and a Mighty King. Out over the fence there was 7 from the finish, and quickly racing on towards their 6th last fence, last in the circuit's time. And Sage Green is over with the advantage, being chased out over in the second by Devil Rose the Dice on the inside of Fact-Face Colombo. Between them races Hill of Fairies, who in turn has been tracked by Highland Paddy. Down that one's outside, then races Moves Like Mason. Always Wanted down the inner in the yellow jacket, alongside the black jacket of June in the Park, and A Mighty King, the blue colours, is last of all as they race on towards their 5th last fence. And Sage Green is over in front with the advantage from Fact-Face Colombo in second. Devil Rolls the Dice goes down the inside in third, and they in turn are being tracked next up in the field by Hill of Fairies, who in turn has been followed by Highland Paddy and Moves Like Mason, who begins to make some ground. Always Wanted is coming under pressure, has been ridden along. Alongside that one is A Mighty King, and last of all, and ridden now, is Jewel in the Park. Racing on towards their 4th last fence, first of 2 in the back straight, and over in front with the advantage is Sage Green, who's kicked clear, a good 5-6 lengths clear now, more, maybe even 10, over Fact-Face Colombo in second. Back in third then is Devil Rolls the Dice, and they in turn are being followed by Hill of Fairies, with just in behind these then races Moves Like Mason, Highland Paddy, Jewel in the Park, and very bad mistake, and lost all chance there as Devil Rolls the Dice. Barry did them well to keep the partnership intact, but Devil Rolls the Dice was sitting in second when making a bad mistake at 3 out, and will likely be pulled up after jumping that. Making their way now around the bend, and it's still this Sage Green to be caught from the second running Fat-Face Colombo. Hill of Fairies for third. They in turn are being followed as they make their way on the uphill climb by Jewel in the Park, who's staying on in front of Highland Paddy, and then comes next in the field Moves Like Mason. They're clear over the remainder, straightening on up, 2 fences left to jump in the 4-year-old Geldings, and as they do so, it is Sage Green who's still to be caught. From in second spot now races Fat-Face Colombo. Jewel in the Park is back in third, and they're then being followed by Hill of Fairies, but over the second last with the advantage is Sage Green. He's got the advantage by 5 or 6 lengths now to the final one. As he comes down towards it, it's Sage Green. He's safely out over it and has the advantage by a couple of lengths. And as they go inside the closing stages, Sage Green is plugging on best from a rallying Fat-Face Colombo. But on the run up towards the line, it's going to be Sage Green who's just about going to see it up towards the line. Sage Green wins for Shane Roche and continues the handler's good start. This one's for Barry Stone. Back in second spot is Fat-Face Colombo. They're followed in third by A Mighty King. Next up and behind these came June in the Park, and then Always Wanted in front of Moves Like Mason, and not sure if Hill of Fairies jumped the last.